Today's July 14th, 2017. This is the Investitude podcast, and it's Bastille Day. And John, you got inspired from Jeff Bezos this morning? Did you see his picture on the Drudge?
Well, you got a good point there, Andrew, because, oh my gosh, that's a guy that got jacked. I don't know what he's doing, PX90 or what he's doing, but he did get jacked. I mean, Jeff, if you haven't seen him, folks, was in Sun Valley looking like he just got out of a training session with Arnold.
I know. I saw your little Instagram this morning, your tweet about working out at the gym. I was almost inspired. And then, you know what? I saw that article last night. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And that they said that this hedge fund manager shorted the stock, and I'm thinking, oh, this is what we were talking about. And then I read it was Doug Kass.
Yeah. That guy is, and Doug, I'm torn on what to say about him. I don't dislike him, but I think he's not a very good guy right now with a lot of the things he's been saying, more or less behind our back. When you subtweet people and when you basically are ripping them without calling them by name, which he's done with Pete and me over the last several months, it's just like pathetic. I mean, come at me for real, okay, and I could say you're a hater or not, but if you're just saying, oh, these guys with their unusual activity, it never works, really? That NRG, by the way, of Pete's went from 30 cents to $6.
Yeah, that was the last one.
And there have been a bunch. I mean, oh my gosh, Mike Yamamoto over at Investitude is killing it. I mean, Yandex this week, the day before they announced the deal with Uber. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of good stuff going on. And if you want to say it's just luck, okay, but it ain't. And I think Doug's going to be wrong on Amazon too.
Well, yeah, but I like what he's saying. And I knew that this would come someday. It didn't do anything to the stock. I don't think I'd be short.
Of course not. No.
There'll be a day that he's right. He's not going to be right for more than a day.
Well, and, on any expiration or any quarter when Bezos decides he's going to spend more, do the CapEx trade and, surprises the street. Oh, did you see how much he's spending for this or that or whatever? We didn't even know about that. People will sell the stock on those days. But overall, if you want to be short it ever, you buy a put spread. You don't want to be short that stock.
All right, moving on from that. That was fun.
Yeah.
This morning. What else you doing? I mean,
I did a lot today. I mean, I was
busy. I've been busy too.
By the way, that Under Armour worked out again.
I did buy that.
It was okay yesterday. It was bigger today, and it's both the UA and the UAA. Both of them. Obviously, it's the same stock, but you have different rights depending which one you're trading. Both of them had unusual activity.
I did the UA. I did that on your call. The 7,000, nice. Was it 7,000 calls in August, the 20s, were they?
The 20s, yep. The other one was yesterday, UAA, the 2020s, with an August 4th, I think, expiration on that. Let me see, Andrew. Microsoft, big buyers. Somebody stuck them hard. Yeah, they bought them last week for 22 cents, sold them out today for 58. Nice trade. And then they get back in by buying for 17 cents the 76 calls that expire next week. I mean, my God, that's somebody going back to the well and saying, I'm going to hit them again. So I like those guys, and I followed along with it.
Okay. What else? I'll tell you which one I want, but I can't get. I want Adobe. I want to buy Adobe. I pay for their service every month, because I do this editing and stuff. I'm looking at the chart on this thing. This thing looks man, it just keeps going up. I just love it. And I think Josh Brown mentioned about, software companies that instead of selling you one piece, they just fix it every month and sell you a subscription, like Microsoft. This is what's making me think of this stuff. And I don't know, just FYI, that's what I'm thinking.
As you can hear, Andrew, flying back commercial on my friends at American Airlines.
Oh, you're slumming it today.
Slumming it. Not exactly, but I mean,
they
were nice enough to put me up in first, so that's cool.
Oh. Okay. Well, you're jetting smart, but just not jet smarter.
Yeah, well, boy, it's going to be a cool thing tonight, going to a black tie at the Lincoln Park Zoo. They have a fundraiser.
You do that every year.
Yeah, well, my wife's on the board there. They have the largest and oldest free zoo. There is no fee to enter that zoo, which is very cool. It's right on the lakefront. It's a beautiful zoo and very highly trafficked, and it's wonderful that it's still free. How many things are. And this is not the city that supports it. This is private enterprise that supports it, and that's a cool thing.
Did they ever bring out any animals to that black tie? Did they ever just bring
Well,
like
they're
a
right
baby
there.
cub? Well, I meant a cub, like a snake. Or,
no, they don't
sit there. And
but I mean, literally, where we'll be eating dinner, because it's a black tie. You got cocktails, silent auction, dancing, dinner. Where we're eating dinner, we're right across from the lions as they're eating dinner, Andrew. And that is so cool because, there's just a moat separating you and them. And there's this big old, 2 or 3 big old lions. And once 6 o'clock or 6:30 comes around when they usually eat, you can hear them just kind of going, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can, they make that noise every time. It's like,
that's the sound. You do a good lion impersonation, I'll tell you.
And I do that when I'm on that machine too in the morning, especially the chess machine.
Well, we've had a good week this week. The TLRD. Remember that?
Yep.
I
do.
I did more of that when it dropped below 10. And I started to think I'm going to call this thing the TURD, the turd. But it's actually, I think I'll call it turd anyway. We should do a whole show on nicknames for stocks. But I'm keeping the turd. I'm keeping the turd because it's actually doing well this week. So we'll hold on to that. If anybody had followed us into that, we're still holding. But anyway, a busy week, and it looks like you're ending it on a high note at the zoo.
Yeah, I will. And that'll be fun. Killer will be there, Jeff Kilberg.
Oh, yeah.
And a whole bunch of friends that are big supporters of that event. So it should be a fun time, Andrew.
Okay.
Well, remember, folks, you can always subscribe to the podcast by going through iTunes or YouTube. Make sure you shoot us a comment. If we use your comments on air, we'll send you something nice. And thanks for listening.